For what?
Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? I want to welcome everybody to beautiful San Diego this year for the 2018 ATI conference. I'm not a podium speaker, so I wander. So kind of handcuff myself when I stand behind that. So can everybody hear me okay? Great. Okay, well, I wanted to first start out by thanking the people that make this conference possible, our board members, and in particular, Robin Bernardi and Nathan Grafe, who are our conference co-chairs. They put on a wonderful conference every year, and it's tons of hard work. So thank you so much, Robin. I also want to thank all of our gold sponsors this year. We have them up here on the projector, but Thomas Curtis and the Thomas Curtis Charitable Family Foundation, they sponsored the 3-day Compass card that everybody should have gotten in their name tag packet. So if you start it today, it will be good through the rest of the week. So feel free to use that to explore the city. Easter Seals Project Action Consulting for this awesome breakfast this morning. So that was compliments of Easter Seals Project Action Consulting, and MTM Ride Right for tomorrow morning's breakfast. So thank you to all of our gold level sponsors and our copper level sponsor, Susan Olson, who is not here this year, but she did donate to the conference. So thank you to all of our sponsors. You want to keep starting with clap. Thank you, because that's perfect. Great timing. A little bit of housekeeping. The Wi-Fi in here is
travel.
It's Holiday Inn Conference. Yep. Holiday Inn Conference, and the passcode is travel. We are live streaming our event today, at least the first couple parts. So if anybody's on, hello to you out there. This is something new we're trying this year, trying to offer something to our members who aren't able to be here, but you're paying to be a member. So we want to make sure that you get to see some of our conference. So we're live streaming these opening remarks, and we're live streaming the keynote speech. So if this is successful, this is something we'd like to continue year after year to offer that as another added value to your membership. So the guidebook app. Did everybody download the guidebook app? If you didn't, go to wherever you download apps, search guidebook, download it, and use the code CALI, C-A-L-I, and you will have a digital version of our program. So you don't have to rely on the paper program. So it's pretty cool. We've used it for a couple of years now. You can upload photos. You can take the surveys, post-session surveys right on there. Mm-hmm. And speaking of that piece, we are having an expert panel tomorrow. Tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's Thursday. With some really fantastic people answering questions for you. Those questions can be submitted on paper, which we have at the registration desk or at the back table here. Also through Guidebook. There's a survey under Guidebook. If you go into that session, there's a survey that you can submit questions for that. So I encourage you to do that. Please keep the questions professional. We're not answering personal questions. Annual raffle. Anybody who's been here before. And I gotta say, there are a lot of first-time attendees. So whoever's a first-time attendee, thank you so much for being here. We love our returning members, but it's great to see so many new faces in the industry. So thank you for being here, and thank you to our returning members too, because you guys every year make this possible. We do have our annual raffle though. If you've been here before, you know that that's a big part of our conference. Please see Christina back here and Kristen on the other side. They're waving the raffle tickets. They can take cash, they can take card to purchase raffle tickets, and all of the raffle bags and all of the raffle prizes are at the back. So please purchase those and win some cool stuff. There's some pretty cool stuff back there. There's Mike Mullins. What was that you brought, or what did you guys bring? It was beer. Beer, man. Yeah. That's a man who, or that's an organization that knows what ATI is about. Raffle prizes raffle prices are 1 ticket for $2, 3 tickets for $5, 7 for $10, and 15 for $20. So I'm just going to say it's 15 for $20, and just forget the other prices that I gave you. And then the raffle will take place right before the annual meeting on Thursday. We have 2 opportunities to participate in David's, raise your hand, David, intersection analysis on Wednesday and Friday. So today and Friday, but it is limited to 6 participants each session. So if you've never done it before, I suggest you sign up. Wait till I'm done talking, but please sign up. If you've done it before, please give an opportunity for somebody else to do it. It's the same as it has been in past years, correct, David? And so it's going to be similar to what you've seen already, but we'd like to give new members the opportunity to experience that because it's a really great opportunity. And the sign up for that is on the registration table. Now, what we all have come for, the evening social activities. There will be a board member in all of the activities, so you'll have a host in all the activities. Tonight, there are 2 options. We have a networking happy hour at the Bayside Patio, which is by the pool? Mm-hmm. Yeah, by the pool. So everybody here where your bus ticket is, there's also a drink ticket in there. So use that to participate in that activity. And that's going to be hosted by Julie Wilkie and Mike Mullins, correct? And that's 5:30 to 6:30, 7 to 9. We are going to Eppig Brewing Waterfront Beer Garden. And that is about a 10-minute walk from here. We're going to meet in the lobby here in the main building and walk over. It's about a 10-minute walk. And I will be I'll be hosting that. Hey, me. Stacy Davis and Kristen Salkis will be leading that crew. So 7 o'clock sharp in the lobby if you want to head over. Okay. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, we will be leading the group down to downtown San Diego, down to see Midway Museum, Gaslight Quarter, Balboa Park, and Coronado. This will be kind of a lead yourself. We'll get you down there, and then you guys can just explore. I do want to point out that we're going to take the bus down there, 5:45 and 6:15. There will be no bus service back. So if you go, you'll either need to walk, long walk, or take Uber, Lyft, or taxi back. Okay, so I just want to point that out before the event. We'll point that out at.
Or public transit.
There's no. There's no public transit back here.
Okay.
That way. So just keep that in mind. Session evaluations. We talked about this a little bit. There are no paper session evaluations this year. They are all done through the guidebook. So I encourage you to download the guidebook. If you don't have access to the guidebook, let one of us know. We'll work with you on that. We do have computers that we can do a session evaluation through if we have to. Did I miss anything there? No. Okay. Well, this was on here and I already said it. Last and most importantly, we have attendees here for the first time. We want to say a big welcome. And please, if you've been here before, engage our new members. We want everybody coming back year after year. This is a great organization. I've learned so much over the years. I've gained so much over the years from this organization. I've been coming, and my first conference was in 2004 in Cleveland. And, I haven't attended all of them. Actually, I don't see my wife in here. Today I need to say happy anniversary to my wife. It is our 7-year anniversary today. Aww. I was not looking for applause, but we did make it 7 years. We missed the 2011 conference because we were on the beach getting married that day. And we came together because of travel training. We were both travel trainers in the same organization. And we both moved on to different opportunities and stayed in touch and ended up getting married. So pretty much all the happiness I have in my life is due to travel training. So, yeah. So anyway, does anybody have any questions about anything before we move on? No? If anybody has any questions about the conference, please see Robin. Anything else? See Robin? No. Feel free to grab any board member. We're all here to help. Looking forward to a great conference, and I think that's it. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce Bill Sprawl from MTS. He is the CEO there. I appreciate you coming down to talk about us, or talk about your city with us. So let's give him a nice warm welcome. Go here. Is this good? You're a walker. All right. No, I'm not. I'm a walker, but not this morning. And I just got a promotion. Thank you. I'm actually the chief operating officer, but I'll take CEO. That's fine. I'll wait. And just like you, I'm going to say that all the happiness in my life is due to transit. So we've got that going together. So welcome to everybody. I am Bill Sprawl. I'm the chief operating officer for the San Diego Metropolitan Transit System, the transit system for southern San Diego. San Diego County is a huge county, and so actually about the northern 25% of the county has a different transit system, the North County Transit District. But essentially we cover most of the city of San Diego and most of the county of San Diego. So on behalf of our board of directors, our CEO Paul Jablonski, and the entire 2,500 member team of MTS, I want to say welcome to San Diego. This is a great place to have a conference. It almost absolutely guarantees a successful conference when you come to San Diego. And I know that. I've been here for a little over 5 years now, and I'm from the Midwest, and I do remember coming to San Diego a couple of times for a conference and thinking, wow, that was a great conference, although I couldn't remember all of it. Yeah. So I did hear you say you're going to the Gaslamp on Thursday night. Counting the number of people in this room, if you all go to the Gaslamp Thursday night, look around because 2 or 3 of you will not be here on Friday. Just have to figure out which ones those are. So this morning I thought I'd talk a little bit about San Diego, some sort of interesting demographic information about San Diego, and that sort of then feeds into talking about MTS and what we've done in terms of making our system as accessible as we think it can be. And then obviously you all, hopefully after a couple of days, can help tell us whether we're achieving being as accessible as we'd like to be. And then finally, I'll talk a little bit about our new initiatives on travel training. I would be remiss if I didn't ask first, so first time in San Diego? Okay, quite a few of you, great. Welcome to San Diego. Those of you who have been here before, welcome back. And I'm sure that this boosted your attendance for your conference in San Diego. It's a great place. It's really an amazing place. I think you're going to find that. Anybody from Ohio? Yeah, go Buckeyes. If you can tell, I'm from Ohio. Yeah. So anyway, I have to start with San Diego weather, right? It is the most significant thing that many people think about San Diego, and it doesn't suck. The average temperature for where you sit today is 70 degrees, and that's the average temperature for the year. And where you sit today is one of the most moderate climates that you can have in San Diego. So it will range here from 60 degrees to 85 degrees, and then average out at about 70. We do have weather variation. This is actually a desert. San Diego is desert. Most of Southern California is desert. And so as you go east from downtown San Diego through the suburbs, it gets more and more desert-like. And there are some pretty big mountain ranges. And then on the other side of that's the Imperial Valley. And literally in San Diego in the wintertime, you can snow ski in the morning, drive to the beach, and go surfing in the afternoon. So we do get the opportunity to experience some really bad winter weather. We put on the Weather Channel, and we watch that every day. Anyway, so let me tell you a little bit about some of the demographics about San Diego and the things that we have to deal with at MTS. San Diego is a huge, diverse metropolitan area. The population of San Diego is about 1.4 million, 1.5 million in the city, and then if you add in the metropolitan area, it's over 3 million people. It's the 8th largest city in the United States, the 2nd largest city in California, behind Los Angeles. Not only that, it's a very big multicultural area. Now, as you go about
your business in San Diego over the next couple of days, you'll find that San Diego is very much a bilingual city. You'll see Spanish and English, and it's predominant everywhere you go. But the city of San Diego lists over 100 different languages that are commonly spoken in the San Diego area. So it's a very, very rich multicultural area. You'll also see as you go around, it's high tech, it's low tech, it's history, and then it's brand new. So it's a very interesting mix of a lot of different things going on. And then we add on top of that, we get about 35 million visitors each year. So that's a lot of people coming in and out. And so our transit system is built for not only the residents and the normal transit population that you get, but also those big movements of visitors as well. So getting your bearings here, if you just got off the plane, let's say yesterday afternoon, last night, you came straight here. So as you sit here, the Pacific Ocean is that way, about a mile, up over the top of Point Loma and back down again is the Pacific Ocean, and it wraps around this way through the bay. And so downtown is just to your southeast. And then there's Coronado Island on the other side of the bay. And then Coronado Island is about a mile wide. And then the Pacific Ocean is over there. And if you get a chance to get over to Coronado, it's a great place to look back at the city and really get some of those great skyline views. You've heard of the world famous San Diego Zoo and world famous Balboa Park, which is one of the largest urban park areas. And it's home to over 20 museums. Those are all only about a mile to a mile and a half north of downtown. So it's a very compact downtown urban area, and then sprawls out really far to the north, the east, and to the south. Everything is metropolitan all the way up to Los Angeles. It's beach communities and suburbs. And then as you go south of here, it's heavily residential all the way to the border. So I wanted to focus on that next because that's a significant part of our business as well. You're sitting about 15 miles from the Mexican border. And so the amount of traffic that goes back and forth is incredible. So the connection between San Diego and Tijuana, Mexico, and by the way, Tijuana, Mexico has over 2 million residents now, and it's one of the largest growing cities in Mexico. That connection between the two, the first port of entry that was built was at San Ysidro. San Ysidro now is the largest land border crossing in the world. I have a couple of statistics that really show that. In 2017, 8.5 million pedestrians crossed at San Ysidro, 24 million cars. And the backups are so big there that several years ago, a second border crossing about 8 miles east was constructed, and that's called Otay Mesa. And now Otay Mesa border crossing is up to 3.5 million pedestrians, 8 million cars, and over 1 million tractor-trailer trucks crossing every year. So when you add all of that up together and the 5 million people who live in this region, you're really sitting in an incredible multicultural area, but also just an economic monster. One of the reasons for all of those border crossings is from the San Ysidro port of entry on the Mexican side, in the next 15 miles along the Mexican border on the Mexico side, are manufacturing plants called maquiladoras, which I'm sure you've heard about. There are over 600 maquiladoras now just in that 15-mile stretch. And they're building everything from cars and trucks to computers and cell phones, high tech, low tech, all kinds of goods and supplies. Billions of dollars crossing the border, really back and forth. And it's really created an international economy and an international region. And so one of the things, one takeaway maybe, that doesn't really have anything to do with travel training, is that the picture, at least in California, Southern California, of the border and how that affects the economy and how it affects the culture is probably a little different than maybe what you see and read about in other areas of the country. So anyway, we deal with all of those things. In the middle of all of that is MTS. Our buses and trains literally go right to the border within steps of the border. And 53% of the pedestrians who come across on a daily basis use public transit on MTS. So that's a big piece of our business, are people coming across the border, working in San Diego, and going back. And that's not just that's not just Hispanic people either. Now there are lots of people who are moving to Tijuana because the cost of living is so much cheaper there as compared to over here. So it's a lot of movement back and forth. Anyway, so we sit in the middle of that. MTS has really three legs of transit. We have our light rail system, or the trolley, and hopefully you've seen this. We'd like to say it's world famous, but I don't know if it is. We say it is. It's those red trolley, the light rail system. We have about 54 miles of route. We have 3 different lines. We've color-coded those. The orange line goes from downtown to the eastern suburbs. The blue line goes from downtown and connects to the border within steps of the border. And then the green line connects with downtown, and it goes a little bit north, and then it also goes east through some of the suburbs. We are in the middle of a $1 billion extension, which will go about 12 miles north of downtown and connect with La Jolla and UCSD. And so that's a major piece of increasing accessibility for all of San Diego. We just completed a $600 million rehab of all of our transit stations and all of our rail stations to make sure that they are fully accessible. And so now most of our rail cars are low floor rail cars. And so if you look at our trolley and you see a 3-car train or a 2-car train, at least one or both of those cars will be the low floor car. So we've eliminated the step ups into the trolley. And so that's been a big step for us. On the bus side, we have 630 fixed route buses that run on about 100 routes throughout the area. We carry about 90 million passengers, 40 million or so are on the trolley, and about 50 million are on the bus system. As I said, it's about 100 routes. We operate all of the trolley system in-house with MTS, and about half of the bus system is operated in-house and half of it is operated under contract with private providers. And then our third step, our third leg of transit is one that all of you know very well, and that's our paratransit system, and it's called Access. We operate 170 buses on the Access system. We carry about 500,000 trips a year. Our passenger base is about 10,000 customers, and about 6,000 of those customers are what we would call active customers. 70 to 75% of those customers are ambulatory, which is about what you would find on a paratransit system. And 25% of our customer base are conditionally eligible, and that's a group that travel training can assist with. In July of 18, we started a taxi pilot program. So that program is going to help us use those vehicles for the ambulatory population, increase those opportunities and ridership patterns. So we use Trapeze, which many of you I know are familiar with. We use that to manage the entire system. We use real-time information, real-time dispatching. We have mobile data terminals on our vehicles. We've invested a lot in the technology on the paratransit side. So public transit is a big piece of our business. On the paratransit side, MTM is our partner. We use them for our eligibility certification, and they've been doing that for a couple of years now. They do in-person eligibility assessments for both new applications and recertifications. And I was going to do this at the beginning, and I forgot to do it. I wanted to let you all know that Callie Johnson is here, and she is our local MTM partner, managing our eligibility process. And people standing in the back is Vassy Lorinska, Jay Washburn, and Kenneth Young, and they work for me at MTS and help with our paratransit system and fixed route. So we've done a lot of things in our system to try to focus on accessibility. I wanted to talk the last piece about those things that we've done to try to make our rail system and our bus system as accessible as possible. And when we look at accessibility, we don't just look at it for customers with disabilities who are most aided by accessibility. We really look at it for the broad spectrum of all of our customers. I ride the trolley every day. I ride the low floor trolley. Why? Because it's more accessible, right? And so those are the things that we try to look at. How would any customer, it doesn't matter disability or not a disability, how would any customer be aided by what we do, and how can we make it easier, simpler, more efficient, and more effective to use. So I've got a little bit of a video here to show you. We went out and we asked some of our customers what they think about some of the things that we've done, and then I'll highlight a few things after that.
My family's always been big baseball fans, and so we availed ourselves of the trolley system many times over the years, just to enjoy the whole event more. It made it last longer, and it became part of the whole experience. My disability happened to me at the age of 19. I was in a car accident. My disability involved my lower extremities. My upper extremities are still strong, so I'm able to push a wheelchair independently. But on my own power, without an engine, and let's say I want to get farther away from home than just a few blocks, I'm going to need a bus or a trolley. My disability changed my life, and I have to approach life differently, but it didn't necessarily limit my life.
I use MTS buses and trolleys every day to go to work. I am visually impaired. I am not totally blind. I can see a little. I can see light and dark, and I can see some shapes. I can read the bus number or the traffic light.
So the ticket station was noticeable in a large area and easy to approach in a wheelchair. And it was at the right height, and the prompts were legible. I found it was very, very easy to use. Trolleys have improved, and so it was better than I remembered, and far more efficient because of the button that has the wheelchair symbol and the lighting that lets you know when you toggle it, it's going to do what you want it to do. It's going to deploy the lift, and lift with easy angle for approach. And once I made it onto the trolley, I was impressed by the technology of the bar underneath the raised seat, where I can anticipate my stop and hit that, and then I know the ramp is going to deploy for me. I like the universality of it. I don't have to wonder if a bus is going to be acceptable because they're all specially equipped. So I can get in line at the curb and wait for the next bus, and be assured that I'm going to get to my next destination and not have to wait longer, as compared to the other passengers. I can stay in line with that. And the same is true for the trolley. I'm assured that there's going to be access and that, my plans will unfold as I have, laid them out for that day.
This is my guide dog, Coral, and she helps me get around. And she would guide me to the bus stop. She knows the word bus stop. And she also brings me to the bus door. She would also help me to find the empty seat. When I first started using Compass Card, I told her the word machine, and the machine meaning the Compass Card validator. So now when I tell her to find the machine, she would take me to the Compass Card validator. I'm loving the Compass Card because I do not need to go buy back passes every month because I set it up so the money would be taken out of my account automatic. So I don't have to worry about anything. And it is even better now because you can validate your Compass Card, or you can tap your Compass Card at the trolley ticket vending machine. And it is easier for us to find those vending machines than the validator because the vending machine makes audible noises. As I cannot see well, talking to or keeping communication with bus drivers are very, very helpful or almost essential to me. from the moment the bus door opens up for me, they are very helpful. They will tell me if there's a pole in front of me, and also I'll tell the driver where I'm going to, and I ask the driver to call out the stop for me.
Accessibility in any community is important. Accessibility when it comes to transportation is even more vital. It's just so important to know that I live in a city with a great system in place.
The first step that you need a gut to try first time. And you don't really need to know everything from the beginning, because there are systems available to help you.
Just get out there and try it. I think they'll discover their hesitation will go away immediately. I think they'll discover personnel and equipment that's really ready to handle whichever disability or function levels they present. And they can only benefit from discovering within themselves that there really are no barriers. You've got to get out there and try it, though.
So we use that video in a couple of different ways. And obviously it's designed to assist people with conditional eligibility, people who are looking for travel training, people who may be a little bit hesitant about stepping on and using public transit. But the other piece that we use that for is our own internal employees, because it's absolutely critical that we put real customers in front of our employees. So this is part of our annual driver training, it's part of our new driver training, and it's something that we have to remind ourselves every day. And it's why we continue to invest in not only equipment and technology for accessibility, but the human element as well, because our drivers are critical, our maintenance employees are critical. Everybody that helps deliver public transit is critical to that process to make our system as accessible as possible. And the easiest way and the best way to do that is to put real faces and real people in front of our employees to remind us why we're really here. Because one of the things we see in transit that, we're a public sector agency, but we actually get to see the people who we affect. We get to see the results of our work. We get to take people where they go. And so we have to remind ourselves of that. We actually make a difference and we move people. So I think this video showed a few of the things that we've done, big and small. Some of them are subtle, some of them are very, very significant in how we try to make our system more accessible. But you saw that our fixed route buses and almost all of our trains are now low floor accessible. I talked about that rehab project where we went through and made sure that every station now can take a low floor train, and that is our standard going forward. We've extended the rail system, as I said. That opens up all kinds of accessibility to people with disabilities and without disabilities. We've made a heavy investment in technology assistance. Our Compass cards, right? And you heard on the video the ease with which a smart card can work for people. This is actually old technology for us, and we're getting ready to put in a new fare collection system that will build on this platform and hopefully be even more efficient, more effective, and even simpler for our customers to use. This has such a market penetration that on our bus system, we only get 12% of our fares are paid with cash. So 88% of our ridership is now coming off of the card. We've introduced mobile ticketing. You can download an app and you can purchase tickets right on your phone. That has also opened up accessibility for everybody. We now have about 150,000 customers who are registered, and we just rolled that out within the past year, so we think that that's going to continue to build. And again, making it easier for people to not have to handle cash, which is a problem for everybody when you got to have exact fare on buses or trains. So we've done that. We've got real trip planning and system information. Hopefully someone will share with you the One Bus Away app that you can use as you're going around our system. It'll tell you when the next bus and the next train will be there. We'll continue to build on next train and next bus arrival. You'll see next train arrival signs at most of our train stations and at many of our bus stops. So we're building apps and smartphone technology to try to continue to make our system easier and easier for people to use. So we've looked at the vehicles as well. You'll see that every train has front, side, and rear destination signs. Every train and every bus, same thing on the outside, and on the inside, everything is automatic annunciation. So whether you're on a bus or a train, you can count on the system to tell you when that next stop is. We announce major destinations and everything. All those announcements are bilingual, both Spanish and English. We have even made our transit security department available real time to our customers through our See Something, Say Something. And you'll see our security wandering through the system. They ride buses, they ride trains, they're at the transit stations, but you can get to them directly with the See Something, Say Something texting app. So we've tried to add a lot of technology, a lot of physical improvements to our system. I'm proud that San Diego MTS really makes accessibility an important priority. I can tell you that this is the 4th or 5th system that I've been. This system beats every other one of those systems in terms of making accessibility important for our customers and looking at how we deliver services from the customer's perspective. We're missing something, one piece that all of you know the best, and that's travel training. So we are just getting started on that, and hopefully we can steal some things from this conference. In January of 18, we kicked off our program with our first Train the Trainer sessions, which I feel like I'm probably wasting my time telling you all how travel training works and what our program looks like. But so it's really got two focuses. One is what's called Transit 101, which is trying to get to seniors, former users of transit, and potential new users of transit, and trying to show them some of the things that we make easy for you to be able to use transit. And then the second piece, of course, is looking at paratransit riders, people with disabilities, and those customers who are conditionally eligible, who with some travel training will be able to make the move from paratransit or from some private transportation company to be able to use our fixed route and our rail system. So our program is based upon the ATI best practices, which is a good thing, right? And the MTM on the move travel program. And then of course we've customized that for our use here at MTS in San Diego. So we're just getting started with that. We're excited about that. When I was in Cincinnati, we had a travel training program. It's been around for several years. I got to see what the benefits of that were. So we really think that this is another piece of accessibility for San Diego and for our communities, so we're excited about it. So I'm looking around the room. I haven't lost anybody, I don't think. I don't see anybody dozing off, so that's a good thing. The last thing I will say is what you always get from every speaker. You got to get out and enjoy San Diego. Work hard, but play hard. It's a fantastic place. You are very close to many of the things that you're going to want to see. And I know you're going to stay in the sessions all day long and work hard. But then when you finally get released, get out and enjoy and let MTS be your designated driver and your chauffeur, and we'll help you around. So enjoy your time in San Diego, and thank you very much.
Bill, thank you so much. That was great. Okay, a lot of great stuff there. A lot going on here in San Diego. It's amazing to me how far and how fast technology has come over the years, and it's great when travel training can partner with an organization that really embraces technology to really bring accessibility to people. It just has really, really grown by leaps and bounds since I've gotten into it. Okay, so do we have any announcements or anything that we can do before we go on? Okay, so the next part we have going on this morning, we are going to introduce our nominees for new board positions. If you have not voted yet, you must be a voting member of ATI. We have a link on our website. We sent out an email to vote, and we also have paper ballots back of the room. So cast your ballot. You have until end of day today to do that. 5 p.m. So we will be cutting off the online voting and collecting the paper ballots at that point. So if you have not voted, please do so. So I'm going to introduce each of the candidates that are here today, and I don't know that any of them knew we were going to do this, so this will be fun for them. So I'm not going to go through their bios in the back. I'm not going to embarrass you guys by making you stand and have me read a full bio, but I will introduce them. I'll ask them to stand up just so you can see who they are. Please, if you have questions, feel free to talk to them. But the voting process is so important because as board members, we help direct the organization, and getting good, active, participative board members in place is really important. And we've got a great group right now, and we want to continue that. So I will introduce, in no particular order, Ashley Hinton. If you could stand up, please. Yes, big applause. Allie Gunderson. And Christina Cooper. They've all been, and Anthony Johnson, who was unable to be here for the conference today. Thank you. All of them, in one way or another, have been assisting the board with different projects over the years, have been involved with different facets of our organization, and we will be lucky to have any of them on the board. So I do want to give some kudos to our outgoing board members, Francis Francos, Robin Bernardi, and a really huge thank you to Julie Wilkie, who stayed on as president a little longer and has stayed on to work on the bylaws and has undertaken, we'll hear more about this tomorrow, but huge project. She is really, really putting a lot of work on this, and you'll see that tomorrow. So just a huge thank you to you guys. So that was much faster. We have 15 minutes allotted for that. So why don't we take a 10-minute break or so. We'll be back here for 10 a.m. for our keynote speaker. It's an awesome keynote. I want to actually big thanks to Mike Mullins because he helped organize that whole thing and find it. So thank you so much, Mike, for all your help with that. Okay, so be back here by 9:55, okay? Thanks, everyone.
Stretch it out. I know. Yeah. We have a whole division of operating services. They have but I work actually with we're trying to see if we can actually years ago I Yeah, that's why I'm saying in the morning on the West Coast. Yeah, and I was real traditionally anyway, but then by the end, we are that much and they have a certain stuff that is always from the
Whatever, we can make it.
They do. They do a lot of programming around it.
I would get a group and
You're correct. You're correct. I have I'm not really business card, but I know they have a tradition to share.
Or they all see.
Always better to go directly.
Unless you got